Being a CEO blurs work and life. Balance doesn't start with time management, it starts with awareness.
When work enters every room, rest quietly disappears without asking permission.
Leadership pressure follows you everywhere, even before the day officially begins.
The inbox never sleeps, and neither does the responsibility attached to it.
Early on, balance feels like a luxury reserved for someone else.
Every meeting added seems harmless, until days become nothing but decisions.
The company grows, and so does the invisible weight on the founder's shoulders.
Burnout doesn't announce itself. It accumulates quietly through small compromises.
Even breaks become extensions of work when boundaries aren't defended.
Saying yes too often feels responsible until it costs clarity.
The workday ends on paper, but mentally it often follows home.
Silence becomes rare when leadership noise fills every spare moment.
Home turns into a second office without clear lines drawn early. Work-life balance isn't lost in big choices, but in everyday habits.
Many CEOs confuse constant availability with commitment.
The cost shows up first in energy, then in perspective.
Leadership without recovery slowly erodes judgment.
Rest becomes optional until performance makes it mandatory.
The tension isn't between work and life, but between control and surrender.
Balance begins the moment a CEO admits something has to change.
Admitting imbalance is uncomfortable, but it creates the first honest pause.
The struggle begins with removing noise before adding new systems. CEOs often overestimate what must be done today.
Delegation sounds simple, but letting go challenges identity.
Every ignored call tests the fear of missing something critical.
Trusting others feels risky when outcomes define your reputation.
Balance falters when perfection replaces progress.
Guilt appears the moment work pauses, even briefly.
Physical fatigue often mirrors mental overload.
Removing commitments is harder than creating them.
The mind resists rest when responsibility feels endless.
Small decisions at home revere real priorities.
Work expands when boundaries remain abstract.
Doubt creeps in when growth costs more than expected.
Time isn't managed, it's intentionally claimed.
Long hours quietly replace sustainable leadership.
Choosing rest feels wrong before it feels right.
Boundaries begin with physical signals, not intentions.
Struggle isn't laziness, it's rewiring leadership habits.
Before balance is found, resistance must be understood.
Clarity arrives when pressure eases enough to think, not react.
Balance starts shifting when fewer goals feel more meaningful.
Space between tasks creates room for better decisions.
Time protection becomes a leadership skill, not a personal favor. Trust grows when responsibility is shared, not hoarded.
Productivity improves when rest stops being negotiable.
Physical routines anchor leaders when mental demands fluctuate.
Slowing down often sharpens judgment more than speed ever did. Simplicity reduces friction that drains leadership energy. Reflection replaces reaction when space is intentionally created.
Perspective returns when urgency no longer dominates every hour.
Leaders don't need to be present everywhere to be effective.
Mental recovery strengthens decision-making more than constant input.
Ending work deliberately trains the mind to let go. Balance becomes visible through consistent, ordinary choices.
Presence at home restores energy and leadership consumes.
Recovery is productive, even when it looks inactive.
Sustainable pace replaces constant acceleration.
Work changes when it's no longer fighting life for attention.
Clarity isn't found by doing more, but by doing enough.
Execution begins with routines that protect energy before demands arrive.
Working on one thing at a time restores depth lost to constant switching.
Leadership feels lighter when decisions are fewer and clearer. Structure replaces discipline when habits are designed intentionally.
Execution improves when communication is concise and respectful of time.
Physical maintenance thus supports mental endurance more than motivation.
Progress becomes visible when work is measured realistically.
Fool. Stepping away midday resets attention for the hours that follow. Deep work replaces long hours when distractions are reduced. Clear execution favors fewer priorities, consistently revisited. Short pauses prevent fatigue from quietly taking control.
Ending days intentionally preserves momentum for tomorrow. Consistent routines build balance more reliably than rare breaks.
Transitions signal the mind to release work mode.
Ordinary actions ground leaders after abstract decisions all day.
Physical decompression protects long-term leadership stamina.
Clear endings reinforce healthier beginnings. Sleep becomes strategic when performance matters tomorrow.
Balanced execution shows up as steadiness, not urgency.
Daily actions compound into sustainable leadership rhythms.
Lessons surface when patterns are reviewed instead of ignored.
Balance improves when leaders hear strain before it becomes failure.
Flexibility matters more than rigid routines when life shifts.
Reflection turns experience into usable leadership insight. Not every problem needs immediate attention to remain important. Balance grows when errors are acknowledged without self-punishment.
Recovery strengthens leadership when it's practiced regularly.
Distance from work sharpens judgment inside it.
Sustainable goals replace constant overload.
Balance feels quieter than success, but lasts much longer.
Order at the end of the day reduces mental carryover. Morning Teens.
Small rituals mark the line between roles.
Presence restores energy, leadership steadily consumes.
Learning pauses allow ideas to settle and mature.
Lessons deepen when nights are no longer crowded with work.
Balance aligns daily effort with long-range vision.
Leaders don't need constant urgency to remain relevant.
Planning rest makes sustainability intentional, not accidental.
Lessons reveal themselves through consistent, ordinary days.
Balance isn't perfect control, but practiced awareness over time.
With time, balance shifts from a tactic into a way of leading.
Contemplations. Reflection stretches leadership beyond the urgency of quarters and metrics.
Sustainable leadership moves at a pace life can support.
Long-term vision becomes clearer when burnout no longer clouds it.
Balanced CEOs create environments where pressure doesn't dominate decisions.
Ordinary mornings anchor leaders amid unpredictable futures.
Perspective widens when leadership is no longer survival-focused. Intentional disconnection protects clarity in a connected world.
Balance supports resilience when external conditions inevitably shift.
Progress feels different when measured over years, not days. Leadership maturity shows up as presence, not constant intervention. Evenings reclaim meaning when work no longer spills endlessly forward.
Reflection replaces reaction in balanced leadership lives. The future feels manageable when time is respected.
Rest restores the judgment leaders depend on most.
Balanced CEOs arrive focused, not already depleted.
Values guide decisions when schedules no longer dictate behavior. Balance allows leaders to think beyond immediate outcomes. Leadership ends each day with intention, not exhaustion.
Work-life balance isn't an achievement, but a practice that sustains leadership over a lifetime.